All right, first thing I need to do is put a small disclaimer on this. My daughter's in the audience. Emily, do this, please. Okay. Mom, if you happen to be listening to this, once they put it out on Facebook, stop listening, just shut it down. Okay. It's a story my mother's never heard. So, grew up in a small town. We'll call it the Absaraka of northern Minnesota without the haunted house. Thank you for that, by the way. It was a very small town. Everybody knows each other. We went to a small church youth group, and the same person who was our school bus driver, Norm, decided to teach the boys how to drive. Well, okay, so in order to really understand the how and why Norm did to us what he did, I'm going to tell you a small slide story where Norm drove one of the little Honda hatchbacks, okay, very tiny. And there were 3 of my size people in the back seat, and we decided, as Norm was driving 75 down a icy road, to see if we could make the car spin. You can. Just take my word for it, the car will spin, and we survived. Again, not sure how. So the first one to learn to drive via Norm was my friend Dan. And he had his parents' 1972 Ford LTD, bigger than this room. Okay? Pretty sure it sat about 85 in the back seat. We've tried, but that's a whole nother story anyway. So his birthday was in December, so just before he turned 16 to get his license. Norm decided, all right, we're all going to go out, and the same 3 of us that were in the back seat had to participate in all of these adventures. His was on the icy roads in northern Minnesota. Straight away, he decides he needs to get Dan to go from 0 to 95 as fast as possible. And he was timing him, and he had 3 chances to do it, and he had to do it this way. First 2 were great. The third one, tires a little warmer, ice was a little slipperier. We put the Ford LTD in the ditch. Missed a tree by about 6 inches on one side and the stop sign on the other side. You're still not listening, right? Okay, thank you. Okay. And Dan knew if he had to call the wrecker to get his car out that he wouldn't be getting his license. So Norm, who's bigger than I am, decided he would drive, and the 3 of us had to push this Ford LTD out of the ditch. Now the ditch from the ground to the road was at least 8 feet. We got it out. No damage, nothing there. Woo! We survived. All right, first one done. Mine comes up in the summer. Like, okay, I don't have to worry about slippery roads. My test is to take my parents' 76 Chevy Impala, slightly smaller than this room, but still quite large. And down the dirt roads of our farm towns, we need to hit 120 miles an hour. I'm still alive. I didn't put it in the ditch. Dan couldn't drive. He put his in the ditch. So I got my license. All is good. And we decided that, all right, it was really time to pay Norm back. So there's a nice section south of town that curves, okay? Basically it's a 90-degree curve. But at the end of that curve, there is a driveway that you don't see as you come up to the curve, and we knew Norm didn't know this road. So it seemed like a good idea at the time. We said, all right, Norm, come with us. We're gonna show you how well we drive now. So we get into Dan's Ford LTD, and we're going 100 miles an hour down this road. And both Dan and I know this is coming, and all of a sudden we go, shit, corner! And we grab on. And Dan's like, I'm not going to make it. We Dukes of Hazzard off the corner, down there. Norm's screaming like a 12-year-old girl. We're dying laughing at Norm because Norm's a big guy. He was a big burly farmer, not going to happen. And we looked at him and said, so it's payback. Says, did you have a good time? Says, good time. That was fucking awesome. Thank you.